The storm did not arrive loudly. It crept in like a breath held to long snow, thickening, wind sharpening, visibility shrinking until the world became white and hollow. At the edge of the frozen pass, a single guard post stood half buried, its radio dead, its lights swallowed by ice. Inside, a sniper waited alone, fingers stiff, heartbeat slow, knowing that if anyone remembered her at all, it would be too late. She had already been written off. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you rewatching from. I love knowing who is listening. Her name was Mara Voss, though no one used it out here. Guard post assignments rarely earned names-only coordinates. This one sat high above the valley, a narrow choke point used by smugglers and worse. In good weather, it was dull. In bad weather, it was a grave. The blizzard was not forecasted. Not like this. Snow slammed sideways, driven by wind that screamed like something alive. The antenna snapped an hour earlier, metal giving up with a sharp crack that vanished instantly beneath the roar. Mara had tried the radio until her gloved thumb went numb, static, nothing more. Command would assume the storm forced a withdrawal. It would assume she had orders to fall back. They would assume. She swallowed, tasting iron where she'd bitten her lip. The rifle lay across her knees, its metal cold enough to burn. She knew every scratch on it, every resistance in the trigger. This weapon had never failed her. Her body, however, was beginning to argue. Cold crept inward, past layers, past training. Fingers stiffened, thoughts slowed. She flexed her hands again and again, fighting panic with discipline. Then she saw movement. At first it looked like the storm folding in on itself. A darker smudge against the whiteout. Then another. Shapes, low and deliberate, moving when the wind howled loudest. A squad. Enemy colors blurred beneath snow-draped cloaks. They advanced carefully, using the storm-like cover, confident in its mercy, confident no one would be watching. Mara felt a strange calm settle in her chest. If they passed the guard post, the valley would open. Supply convoys. Villages. Lives that would never know her name, only the consequence of her failure. Her orders had been cleared days ago. Hold the post. Observe. Engage only if necessary. No one had said anything about being abandoned. The wind tore at her hood as she adjusted position, easing the rifle up, bracing it against the narrow slit of the firing window. Snow drifted in immediately, stinging her eyes. She ignored it. Distance estimate came automatically. Wind correction, less Sotha. Gusts were erratic, violent. The bullet would not fly true. Not at this range, not in this storm. She exhaled slowly. She thought of the command tent, warm and bright. Voices over coffee. Someone saying, "We lost contact with that post," and then moving on. She thought she'd never see another sunrise. She was wrong, but not for the reason she expected. The lead figure stopped suddenly, crouching. A hand signal passed down the line. They had noticed something. Perhaps tracks, perhaps instinct. Mara's pulse spiked. If they scattered, she'd lose the shot. She centered the scope anyway, peering through snow-blurred glass. The world narrowed. Wind howled. Her breath fogged and froze at the edge of her mask. The target wavered in the crosshairs. The shot was impossible. Every instructor she'd ever had would have said so. Distance too long, visibility too poor, wind too unstable. And yet, she remembered something her first mentor had once told her, voice low, almost gentle. When conditions take everything from you, all you have left is choice. Her finger tightened. The rifle kicked, a dull, heavy thump, swallowed instantly by the storm. For half a second, nothing happened. Then the lead figure collapsed, vanishing into the snow like a marionette with its strings cut. The squad froze. Murmurs carried faintly, swallowed and shredded by the wind. Confusion rippled through them, sharp and sudden. They had not heard the shot. They had not seen the muzzle flash. Fear crept in where confidence had lived. Mara did not wait. She shifted position, muscles screaming in protest, working the bolt with fingers that barely obeyed. She recalculated, faster now, trusting instinct more than math. Another shot, another body fell. This time, the squad broke, scattering toward rocks and ridges, scrambling for cover that did not exist. The blizzard erased all advantage. Mara's vision tunneled. Her breath came in short, painful bursts. Each movement cost her warmth she could not afford to lose, but she kept firing. Each shot was a question hurled into the storm. Each answer came back in silence. Minutes stretched, elastic and unreal. Snow filled the post. Ice formed along her lashes. Her hands shook violently now, exhaustion clawing at her spine. Finally, there was no more movement. Only wind. Only white. She slumped back, rifle clattering softly against the wall. The world tilted. Darkness lapped at the edges of her sight. She allowed herself one thought. I did my job. She did not hear the rotor blades at first. They came as a vibration through the snow, a low tremor that rattled the post's frozen frame, and light cut through the storm brief, blinding, impossible. Mara tried to stand, failed. Hands broke through the doorway. Strong, urgent voices followed, sharp with disbelief. She's alive. They wrapped her in heat, in motion, in life. As they carried her out, she glimpsed the valley below, untouched, sleeping beneath the storm. Later, much later, Command would review footage, satellite images, timelines that did not make sense. One shooter, one post. Entire squad neutralized in conditions that should have made it impossible. They would ask how. The answer never fit neatly into reports. Mara woke in a medical tent, warmth seeping painfully back into her bones. A commander stood nearby, hat in hand, eyes unreadable. You should have fallen back, he said quietly. She met his gaze, voice hoarse but steady. There was nowhere to go. He nodded once. After that, her assignment changed, not upward, sideways, quietly. Missions where weather erased footprints and silence mattered more than rank. They stopped using her name. They called her something else instead. It. The invisible ghost. Not because she vanished, but because when everything disappeared, she remained. Because courage does not announce itself. It simply stays. And when the storm passed over that frozen pass, it left no monument behind, just a valley still breathing, unaware of how close it came to silence. Because bravery isn't loud, it's loyal. And sometimes the world is saved by someone everyone else forgot. If this story moved you, share your thoughts below. Subscribe to Whispered Words and stay with us, because the quietest stories often carry the loudest truths.